So hello and welcome to Mixologist, the place on the internet thingy where we start our projects with a lot of enthusiasm, but all of a sudden we run into problems and we do what a normal person does, which is procrastinate, avoid, and just generally not work on projects. So that's kind of where we're at the moment with this kind of 48 DCOE Webers. But stay tuned, because I'm gonna be giving you some information thanks to my very frustrating journey that you're not gonna get anywhere else on the internet. So let's make a start. So the problem I'm having with these carbs is that I'm having issues with the sealing of the shafts, especially at the ends of the carb. And here's where, you know, this requires a little bit of context. So when you're dealing with European style carbs, so your Webers, Delortos, you know, Zenith, whatever, for a small European car that has a small displacement engine, the sealing of the shaft, so this seal right there I'm showing there, it's really important. Okay, now not so much when you're talking about your American kind of V8 carb, V8 kind of engine, 5 liters and above, kind of the shaft sealing is not that crucial. But for European engines it is. So my problem is that I am not happy with how this setup is, but I have got a plan to sort it out. But first I need to show you a bit what the problem is and what's the theory behind the operation of these carbs, which is, you know, quite important. Okay, so before I deal with the 48s, I might as well just explain something about the Weber DCOE carbs, which is important. So you have got generally the shaft, it comes through like so, to just an example. So these two sides of the shaft, they're generally sealed by a cover that is in this area. That's okay. And the ends of the shaft, they are sealed by this bearing. So pretty much most kind of normal DCOE Webers, they have this bearing over there, and the bearing really does two functions. So function number one is it locates the shaft so that the shaft doesn't wobble, and therefore you get a much more precise kind of throttle action that you would if it was just if this was riding just on the aluminium, because it will wear out. So therefore the shaft provides for the bearing, provides for that kind of location and precision function. But also the bearing, as you can see, this one there, this is a sealed bearing, and therefore what that means is that this acts not only as a when it is installed in here, it acts both as a locator of the shaft and also as a seal. So this is in your normal kind of 40, 45s, 42 kind of DCOEs. Now let's come to the 48s and see what our problem is. So here you go. You got here's one of my 48s, and here's how they came to me. So you've got this carb that comes with this kind of nylon bushing and a PTFE insert. I don't know if you can see it there. It's a bit, the light's a bit weird, but anyway, so they come like this. Now what is the problem that I've got with it? That let's insert the shaft This is just a shaft for kind of illustrative purposes. So if let me show you a bit. Okay, so how do I test this? It's very simple. You just have to suck. So I'm quite sucking quite freely from here, so that's not a really a good sign. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how it feels like to do it with this, which is a seal that comes in the Weber 45s. So let me do the same thing. Just put a shaft here. There we go. So let's try and do the same process. Now it's much more difficult to suck from here. So that means that I am going to need for this set of carbs, what I'm going to need is I'm gonna have to create. So I'm gonna need two things essentially. So I'm gonna have to have this as a seal and this nylon bushing, which fits right in there, as a locator. So essentially what I'm recreating here is I'm recreating the function of sealing with this unit, with the brand new, and the function of kind of locating with this. So therefore that's the plan that I need to do to get this unit living again. So let me so what I am going to do now is I'm going to show you how this is done, because essentially if you look at the carb in here, what I need to do, this seat isn't enough to put this and this. So therefore what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to cut this approximately up to about there, so kind of halfway down, so I have space for this and this, so I can, you know, seal the shaft properly. So I'm going to show you how I set up the cutter for this. Okay, so I've got my pillar drill set up with this rather kind of Heath Robinson-esque setup there. So what this is a M8 rod, and basically what I'm using it is as a pilot to make sure that I'm going to be drilling straight here. So as you can see, the carb is well located and it's firm. So now what I can do is I can start, you know, the drilling process. Just need to go a little bit deeper in that one, but then I'm gonna have to, you know, turn it around and do all the adjustments as well. But this tells me that it's in a good position to start the drilling. Okay, so I've got a bit of an update now on this unit. So as you can see, I've done this one, the first one, and as you can see there and there, I've put the seals. And what you do is the following. So you basically put the seal here first, and it needs to go like so, there, and then we just drive one of these things here, we just drive them in, and that should be our seal and locator for this sort of shaft. So what I need to do is I need to finish the two of them. So now we got to the end of this project, thankfully. And before I show you the units, you know, the final, you know, look around for the condition, I just have a couple of reflections that may be useful for some people. And the first one is that if you're going to rebuild a carb for the first time, especially one of these, just don't get 48s, because this unit really gave me the runaround, and I'm you know, fairly used to working with this sort of style of car, so but it was really challenging. It was a really challenging build. So if you want to do one for the first time, do a 40 DCOE. They are very straightforward, much easier to do than this unit. But again, through sheer kind of bullheaded perseverance, we got the units in quite a usable state now, ready to be installed in a car. So let me show you around what we're working with. As you can see, a couple of details to note. Obviously, the linkage is brand new. The linkage that was there wasn't very good, and this one has the provision for the idle. Obviously, when these units get installed in a car, they need a return spring system to them. So that's something that the customer would have to provide. But other than that, if you put them like so, you can see how the system actuates. Obviously, we just need to they need to be installed in the car properly, but let's say they link up. And the only thing, unfortunately, that was very exceedingly difficult to obtain was the Italian trumpets. As you can see, they have a few things like this one here and this one here as well. That's unfortunately a little bit of a problem, but I think, let's say, functionally it's not going to be an issue. The carbs are going to work fine. It's just that cosmetically it doesn't look that great. And on this unit here, what I've done, the one that had the broken end, what I put is like a positive stop on the throttle there, on that side as well. So it has it on both sides, and I think that's, you know, good enough for the purposes of a carbs like this. That they are not, these units are not meant kind of for street use. They are meant mainly for racing. So I think it's gonna be good for the customer. So I want to say thank you very much for, if you've been following along with this saga, hot take about Weber 48s. Thank you very much for watching. I mean, if you've got any questions, put it down in the comments, and I'll see you in the next episode.